Hi, I'm Janie. Welcome to the JC League House. I'm chuckling a little bit to myself because I just did this whole video, I thought, in one take, and I thought it was great. And then I went to look at it and realized I didn't turn the microphone on. And that is one of the reasons these videos are so hard to do. Joe's not even here. I can't blame it on her. I don't know why, but we just have so many technical issues, and it's usually turning on the microphone. But anyway, I think it's on now. I just wanted to wish you guys a happy new year. It is January 1st. I'm at home, obviously not down at the house. Our family is a little bit spread out, so we tend to do Christmas over a long period of time as people are able to come in. We have our last family thing today, and then it will be back to normal for me, if there is such a thing as normal, because I'm going to have to hit the ground really running in 2023. It is going to be frantic down at the house. There's a lot going on. I'll talk about that in just a second, but I want to back up and tell you about a big event that happened in December. On December 22nd, it became very real. The deed to the house actually got transferred from mine and my husband's name into the nonprofit. We're at Old Republic Title today, and it's interesting. I just realized this morning that it's almost 2 years to the day that we went to see the house and put in a contract on it. And so today we're here to sign the deed over and transfer it into the nonprofit. And I want to thank my husband, who never appears on film. He doesn't he doesn't like to, but he's very supportive, as is the rest of the family, about doing this. So it's a big step. I brought Kleenex in case I cried, but I don't feel sad at all. I just feel relieved. I feel very relieved that all the insurance stuff got fixed. Ta-da!
You are done.
We're done. Thank you, honey.
Congratulations.
Cheers to the League-Kempner House and to great things going forward. So I am now no longer the owner of the League-Kempner House. I wasn't sad at all. I thought I would be. I think I'm just really hyped up on adrenaline because there's so much work that has to be done. I need to remember in the videos not to call it my house anymore, although I still think of it that way because I'm going to be the president of the nonprofit, and things will change a little bit. Some of you have asked questions. Will there still be videos? Will I still be involved? Yes, I'll be heavily involved. I'll still be directing all the renovations. We'll still be doing all the videos. But instead of just arbitrarily doing everything the way I want, I now have a fiduciary obligation to the nonprofit and to the house. So I do have to modify my behavior. I can't just keep things in my head and take things as they come, although that is a little bit of the nature of restoration. But I need to get things down on paper. We need to have plans. We need to have written budgets. We have to do fundraising and other things. There's a lot of things to keep up with. And I have to work with the board. And the plan is to expand that and get other people even more deeply involved and actually take on some of the roles that I perform now, so that this house can take on a life of its own through the nonprofit and continue well beyond my involvement. I'm not going to live forever, and I can't do this forever. I'm going to be doing it for a long time, hopefully, but I want this thing to run without me. That's the goal. So a lot of changes. I've been home doing a lot of paperwork. I talk to y'all about that all the time. Let me just take a side trip and show you. Look at this mess. I have paper on every flat surface in my house. By the end of the day, that should all be gone and neatly organized. That's what I tell myself anyway. So that's kind of what my house looks like. I've got to get all that organized. I'm getting it in binders. I've got one around the nonprofit paperwork and all the legal requirements, one around the history of the house, one around projects in the house, and one around kind of activities of the nonprofit, such as fundraising, publicity, all those things that aren't related to the restoration. So there's a lot of moving parts that we need to get highly organized on. And I already have some wonderful, wonderful volunteers signed up who are picking up some of that work already. So if you haven't been to our website, check it out, League-Kempner There's a volunteer sign-up sheet if you live nearby. If you don't live nearby and you want to volunteer, we have a guy in California who's doing research and going to do our application for registration with the state for a historical marker. So there's not just physical work, there's other work that you can contribute to too. So check it out. You can also donate through there. And I do want to say thank you to all of you who have donated so far. It means a lot. We will be setting up a Patreon account in the new year and having that as an additional source of funds going forward for those of you who want a lot deeper look at the house and some behind the scenes footage. So that will be coming in the new year. So a lot of exciting things, but let's get back to the work at the house. I'm working on that budget and that plan. My great notes here. I've already got 8 really big things that have to happen pretty quickly in the new year that we need to make sure we have the funds to handle. And it gets back to that list of not letting the house deteriorate any further. Remember, I think we had safety, security, and then stopping structural damage. Well, you saw the roof issue with the big windstorm we had. That is number one. The roofers are coming this week to start on that alcove area and doing a really in-depth assessment of the old part of the roof and see if some of that can be patched or if it has to be replaced. And there's some really good things happening there. I know it's a bad thing to say the roof leak is good, but I'll share that as things develop. But also that water in the basement. And as I was doing my year-end cleanup, one of the things I did was go through and try to categorize a bunch of random videos that I shot that never got put into another video or had anything done with it. And I found an update I did from November 2nd, which is long past, but I want to show you that right now because it does pertain to the water issue in the basement. So I want you to have that background because one of the very first videos I'll do in the new year is do a very deep dive into the water in the basement. It is something that is holding up any future work on the house. It's a critical path item, and I'll be talking in another video about critical path, what that means, and how we'll be scheduling work going forward as the nonprofit. So I want to say thank you again for being a supporter, and let's jump backwards to November and show you that update now. Hi everybody, welcome back to the League-Kempner House. I'm super excited to be here today standing in this spot because I don't know if you remember, but it used to be a gigantic pile of dirt and it's gone, and I'm going to show you what happened to it in a second. This is going to be one of those random update videos. I came today to drop some things off. I'll tell you why in a minute. I had planned on working tomorrow and Friday, but I realized when I got here, it is biker weekend, and starting tonight, thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of motorcycles are going to descend on Galveston Island. It's one of the nation's largest motorcycle rallies. I can already hear them in the background. Anyway, it's super fun, but it's going to be so crowded and a nightmare that I'm not coming back. So I'm going to just give y'all an update and walk around and see what's been going on and call it a week. Okay, the first update is kind of a non-update. I see my sidewalks still look like this. The city has not yet started. They told me about 5 weeks ago that in 6 to 8 weeks they would have my sidewalks done. So apparently I haven't worked my way up the list yet, so that's still pending. But we did get just torrential rain, and that's good because I put all that dirt in the hole, I think in the last video. Oops, oh, there went the tripod. Anyway, that rain really does a good job of settling that dirt in, and I can see it's already sunk down quite a bit, so I'll have to come put a little more dirt in it, but that's okay. I've still got a pile. But with that big dirt mound gone, I can clean up this whole side of the house, and it's really going to change the look of this house from the street. After I finish my video, I'm going to go out there and shake that lemon tree. All the lemons have ripened in the last week, and they all need to come down. So that will be a chore I do before I leave. I'm heading down into that dark basement. I'm not going to take the time to take any of the plywood off the windows, but Ricardo was here yesterday with Maribel and a couple of guys, and that dirt is gone because they have been bringing it inside and filling up the giant hole that was the cistern. So now everything is nice and level. Actually a little too high in a couple of spots, but we're getting ready to pour foundation down here. With all the plumbing in the ground, we're ready to close this up. Ricardo was working in this area, getting this wall closed in and making an opening for the plumbing chase. And he did a beautiful job as always. I'm going to go around the back side and show you what it looks like in there. This area is still a bit of a mess, but this is where the bathroom is going to be in one of the apartments. And it's easy to see here how he's finished off that niche I had him make. And he went ahead and stuccoed over it. So, well, there's still some layers of stucco to go, but all this is going to be tiled for the shower, and that'll make a great niche for soaps and shampoos and stuff. And he also did repair work on this chimney that was in really bad shape. There was some rebar that had to be cut out and some new put in. And then you can see here on the side, he formed that up to get that edge and put that trim back. And we still have some patching to do over here on the side. And I think this was actually exhaust for the big central furnace. It went up into a flue inside the chimney. And I haven't done the internal fireplace video yet. I'm working on that, but I'll explain more of what's going on there in that video. But anyway, this area is starting to look really good. The next step will be that we have to move everything in here out. And this is just one of those frustrating things where you put something someplace and then you have to move it. And then you realize you have to move it again, and then we'll probably have to move it again. But every time we move it, there's a few less things to move. But all that's going to have to go so that we can start working on the floor in this side. So he's been really busy. As I said, to my eye, it looks great. We still have to figure out what to do. Oops. Here, that's the old original cistern that I found that was under that mystery depression that you saw in the very first basement tour video. So that's a little problem to be solved. Let me show you another thing that did not happen this week. McNatt Construction was supposed to come do the window installation here in the alcove. But then that windstorm happened and the roof blew off, so that work couldn't be done. So there you have it. Now we are in a bit of a quandary because I can't put the windows in here. That curved glass that I've been storing safely over here in the corner is too valuable to risk installing it and then having scaffolding set up and people working on the roof above. There's just too great a chance that it could get broken or damaged. So everything is on hold in this alcove until I get quotes from multiple roofers and figure out what to do with that flat roof. And everybody knows how much I love working with roofers. So I'm not looking forward to that. My guess it's going to take weeks to get that resolved. So it may be Christmas or later before I get these windows in. Letitia came down this week and we cleaned and cleaned and cleaned. You can't tell it. Just in a week, the dust is incredible in here, but it's much less than it was before. We're getting ready to have our first kind of function in the house, and that's just a little get together of some of the immediate neighbors to introduce them to the house and what we're doing. And since we had to clear out storage anyway, we decided we needed a place to sit. So now we have a table. And then I got busy and cleaned the kitchen, which it has just been like a storeroom for several months now. And I actually haven't given y'all a really detailed tour of the kitchen yet. It was just too full of junk. So once I finish clearing it out, I'll do another video in here and dig into all of the problems here. It's actually another sad tale, but it will have a happy ending. I'm going to try the rake method. Oop. I invented this. Ooh. Oh, the sun is bright. Instead, it's not a good idea to stand underneath. This might shake some of those other ones loose. And they'd fall right on my head. Okay, if Joe were here, this is the part where she would say, this is not a good idea. I am not driving you home if you fall down. But she's not here, so I don't have to worry about her. I did have to have a wardrobe change and put my hair up because the sun came up. And it's really hot. I'm going up. See if I can reach. I can reach them, but I can't see them because of the sun. Get it from the other side. There's more of them over here anyway. Look at these bad boys. They're huge. Stop and pick them up. That's the IKEA bag. Oh my gosh. It's heavy. Oh, yeah, it's too heavy. Okay. I have to go to the street like this. Put it in my car. Okay, I'm going to put up my ladder and call it a day. I'll have to pick the rest of these next week. I'll be back down with a more organized plan, and we're going to be doing a lot more in the basement and getting the upstairs cleaned up and this lot cleaned up. Kind of a final push to get the outside decent and hopefully be able to keep it that way. We're through with most of the heavy demolition, so I'm just crossing my fingers that we can keep the outside looking nice. So that's what was going on back in November, and I want you to note in that video that the basement was dry. That's going to be really critical in our analysis going forward. With that, I'm going to sign off with just, again, my thanks and gratitude to all of you. I hope you had a safe and happy holiday season with your family and loved ones, and I look forward to being with you in 2023 as we make more progress on this incredible house. Again, we're the League-Kempner House in Galveston, Texas, and I hope you all make that journey with us.